Hello and welcome back to Exeter Central. My name is Nicholas, and in today's video we're going to be talking about tools. Believe it or not, this is a subject that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, so yeah, I thought today would be a good day to talk about it. Now, before I get into today's subject, there's something I want to ask you guys on your opinion. Now, before making this video, I just got a delivery from the post for the stuff for the new scene. That's finally come in now, so I can get started on that. Now, when it comes to making the video for that, I'm unsure as to whether I should film it in parts. So part one could be building up the initial landscape, part two could be adding scenery, etc., that kind of thing. So I can either film it in parts, or I can film it in one great big long video, all in continuity and everything like that. So guys, what do you reckon I should do? Comment down below of what idea you think I should do. So either film it in parts or film it in one great big long video. Guys, what do you reckon I should do? I need help. Comment down below what you think I should do. But with that said, let's get into the subject of today's video. Okay, so starting off, we're going to start off with knives. So for any kind of fine cutting, you'll need yourself a scalpel. This is the one I use. I got this at my local office works in Australia. It was relatively inexpensive, and I've had this for a while now. And whenever you get one of these, do be sure to get spare blades for it, because it will come in handy. You will also need a box cutter to cut sort of thicker material. That's what I use. And then I've got a much larger heavy duty knife that I use for cutting out really thick stuff, and this does a good job at it. So I recommend get yourself 3 different types of knives. So one for fine cutting, so paper and stuff like that, one for medium cutting, and one for heavy duty cutting. So those are the ones I use, and I've had these for a while and they've served me pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to talk about screwdrivers now. Now, when it comes to getting a screwdriver set, something as basic as this will do just fine. And this one is made by, hopefully you can see that okay. Maybe the light is too bright. Here, hopefully you can see it. It's made by Stanley, and relatively inexpensive. And I've used it before. It's a pretty good set, and this will last you quite a while. I've been using these. These I've just collected over the years, and these are okay, but do get yourself a good set of screwdrivers, and you also want a more heavy duty screwdriver for bigger screws, and you can use it to scrape scenery, all that kind of stuff. So that's basically what I use, and they've served me pretty well. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about scissors, tweezers, and scraper. So starting off with the scissors, get yourself a good quality pair of scissors. These ones are made by a company called Fiskars. I don't know if I said that correctly, but sure, someone in the comments will correct me on that. These are really good. These have lasted me a really long time. Apparently these are made out of titanium, these blades apparently. And yeah, really good. Bit on the high side in terms of price, but they are really good. Tweezers are always important for holding small stuff, and scraper is important. You can use it to scrape various things, just like the screwdriver. This is a plastic one I got from Bunnings Warehouse in Australia. Relatively inexpensive. This is good for sort of using it on polyfiller, not so much for scraping up scenery. For scraping up scenery, I recommend you get a chisel, or you can use flat blade screwdriver. But just for smoothing out things like polyfiller and everything like that, or even glue, it's perfect. Okay, so Now I'm going to talk about markers and pencils and tape measures and rulers. These are the kind of things that you would use to mark things out and measure with. So get yourself a good quality ruler. I recommend you use a steel ruler. This one's made by StudyMate. Got this one a while ago. Relatively inexpensive. I got this from Officeworks in Australia. So yeah, this has lasted me a while. It's got a couple of scratches and marks on it, but oh well. Yeah, lasts a while. Good quality steel ruler. You can use this when you're cutting out card or plastic card. I wouldn't recommend to get a plastic ruler for doing that. Plastic rulers are good for marking things out prior to cutting, but if you're going to use something to prop your knife up against, a steel ruler is perfect, just what you want. Next, tape measure, always need one of those. This one here is made by Warrior, that's the one I used. So yeah, relatively inexpensive. I believe you can get this at Bunnings Warehouse in Australia. I'm not so sure where this one's from, I just found it in the house. This is a Sharpie. These are always good for marking things out on like wood or foam or something like that. And then a pen, always need one of those. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about spirit level and paintbrushes and sort of what you need basically. So a good spirit level like this, you don't need anything expensive. This is relatively cheap. No idea where this one's from. I believe you can get it at Bunnings Warehouse in Australia. No idea how much it costs, but I'd imagine at the time it would not have costed much. This is good for railway modelling, so you can make sure everything's level and everything like that. And then of course, paintbrushes, they're always important. So I've got 3 different types here. I've got more paintbrushes. So a small paintbrush is good for your details. Medium one is good for just general painting. And then this one is good for larger painting. But this one I don't use with paint. I use this to actually brush dust off my engines. So yeah, this is a really good brush that I use. And then there's other things like flat head ones, and this is a 3 and 4 inch thick paintbrush. I use that sometimes. So yeah, always get yourself a good quality, decent set of paintbrushes that will last you a long time. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about pliers. Everyone needs pliers. Now this is actually a multi-tool, so it's got pliers which I mainly use, but this has a selection of tools actually. So basically it's got some screwdrivers, it's got a bottle opener, it's got another screwdriver, and it's got God knows what that thing is, and then it's got a large knife which I've used before. It's actually pretty good, this knife. And then it's got a ruler which is pretty impressive. Got another knife of some kind, and then it's got these 2 here screwdrivers, and then here's a large knife. So yeah, this will get you started, but I recommend you get extra tools. But I mainly use the pliers. So yeah, these are, I imagine this would be pretty expensive, this one. I got this for free, but if you do get one of these, I'd imagine they'd be pretty expensive. But yeah, good set of pliers, nice and strong, stainless steel, so it's always good. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about a Pico frame cradle, Xuron rail cutters, file, and a pin drill. So starting off with the Pico frame cradle, this is always a good thing to have to protect your engines when you're working on them. This is made by Pico, this one. I believe it was $20. I got mine from the Hobby Man in Australia, but you can find it anywhere at any kind of hobby shop, I'd imagine. Just have a little look at what your hobby shop has and they'll point you in the right direction. This is a pin drill or pin vise. It's got different types of, there we go. So it's got one for smaller, smaller drill bits, and then we've got one for bigger drill bits. It's a good tool, and I've used it before, pretty good, and I recommend you get one of these for when you're drilling the holes in the sleepers for the track pins. And it's a nice tool to have, and of course you're going to need a file, any kind of model building or even track laying where you need to file the ends of the rail. These are always handy. Alright, so we're nearing the home stretch. So now I'm going to be talking about electrical tools and everything. So don't know if you would classify this as a tool, but it's solder. Not much to say about it. This stuff is trade flame electrical solder, lead-free rosin core solder. That's what I use. This cost me $17, I believe, at Bunnings Warehouse in Australia. But obviously there are cheaper solders, but anything that's about $15 and over is what you want to aim for. Soldering iron. This is a 40-watt soldering iron. As you can see, the tip is looking a bit worse for wear, but I need to get that replaced. I recommend you get either a 40 or 50-watt soldering iron as they are best. So yeah, that's what I use, and again, that's made by Trade Flame. Wire cutters and wire strippers are always important. This is a cutter and stripper in two, so that's what I use. I unfortunately don't know what brand it is. I paid $20 for it when I went to a train show, and it's a good little set of cutters. Next, you're going to need something to test your circuit. I use a continuity tester that I made in school. So when you put these together, the light turns on, and when the light turns on, you will know you've got a good connection. Next, you will need some helping hands or third hand or wire holders, something like that. These got many names. Just talk to the people at your local electronics store or hardware store, and they'll point you in the right direction. And last but not least, you'll need a soldering iron stand. Now, the stands that these come with, they come with a little metal one that doesn't really work very well. I'll just go get it. Okay, so here we are. Here's the original stand that came with my soldering iron. These are okay for starting off with, but however, these have a tendency to slip off over time. So if any of you are still using one of these with your soldering iron, don't. First thing you need to get, after you get soldering iron, get a good quality decent stand like this. I don't know who makes this one, but talk to the people at your local electronics store, or even your hardware store may have something like this. So yeah, talk to the people there and they'll point you in the right direction of which ones to get. Alright, so there we go guys, that will be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. There's probably some tools I've missed out, but oh well, I'll probably cover those in a future video. But anyways, I do hope you enjoyed it, and as always I look forward to your comments, and just remember to comment down below how I should film the new scene. So should I film it in parts, or should I film it as one great big long video? I need your help guys, because I'm unsure as to how I should film it. But anyways, hope you guys liked it, and as always I'll see you in the next video. So take care everyone, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye everyone. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about scissors, tweezers and a scraper. So try that one again. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about I forgot what these are called. Try that one again.